that often, so I'm not used to it that time. All right, we'll try again. Great timing though. Hi, welcome back once again. Week 6 is approaching. I'm going to do picks and bans. SPL predictions for week 6. I may do this again towards the start of week 6 just in case, because obviously there's going to be a lot of roster switch-ups during the bye week that could actually happen. Don't forget we've got the charity event going on this week as well on Thursday. Make sure you tune into that for all the fun shenanigans we'll all get up to at the charity event. And also watch F. get shit on by my team, because that's going to happen too. So first things first, let's go through the previous weeks. Now obviously I didn't do one for week 5. I had a lot of busyness going on, so I didn't get a chance to. However, we can look at this page here and I'll go through a couple of things with you. So up here is the current standings, and based off last week's performance alone, not the week before's, even though I did predictions, is where they stood. Now below here is my current expectations on the performance based off where they're moving up and down here, and there's the current standings, so you can see roughly where I'm getting the ideas from with where I'm going with these picks and bans. So we run through it. Randozzo's and Allegiance ended up splitting with LG. That definitely brings LG down this week. Allegiance playing a lot better. Randozzo's picking up their first win of the season just before the halfway mark, which is great for the league because that means every single freaking team has won at least one game. Fantastic for them. So LG will be dropping this week. They're not as clean as we want them to be. Let's be honest. They're not. Are they worthy of a number 1 seed right now? Probably not. Let's be fair. I mean, they're dropping games against teams that they should be beaten, and teams that everybody else has beaten. Going down to Saw them. Saw beat Enemy. Split with Enemy and beat ALG, or Allegiance. They're going to move up just because LG is moving down and others are moving up too, but I don't think the others that are moving up should be going above them because of that. So we're looking pretty consistent. They've still got things to work on though, but they're definitely going to be moving up for me towards that number 1 spot. Then on to Envy, where we see them lose to Denial. Envy on a bit of a rickety slope, slipping all the way down through the rankings right now. Really struggling to find wins over the past couple of weeks. A lot of roster changes with them too.
Get the camera! I got a new sub!
It appears my mom needs to get the camera. Thank you for the subscription though. However, we'll move on. Envy going to go with Denial. Sorry, but they lost to Denial. Envy now move down basically because Envy's below, Denial's below them. They're not having a good run of form, and then there's other teams that are doing very well. Obviously, Enemy. They split with Saw, and Enemy have been number 1 this season for pretty much since the outset. They've been on a great run and a great tear. Do I think they're the number 1 team in America right now, in North America, sorry? No. I think they're definitely top 3 because of the fact the other teams are playing badly. And second of all, I think even if they went on a really bad losing streak right now, I think they would still make the land by their current performance and the standard and the way those guys are playing. So Enemy's going to be climbing up. You can see I've got them down to 2nd here. And then it's on to Eager as well. Now they beat Randozzo's here, and yeah, okay, I'm moving them up based off that. But it's not just that, it's also the weeks previously and the performances they've been consistently having. They're starting to find a groove now. The issue I see with Eager going forward and why they're down as 3rd at the moment is that I think if they go in with a game plan, the game plan doesn't work, they could lose both games quite easily, and those games could cause them problems. They go in with game plans in mind, but if their game plan gets figured out, it causes them issues. We've seen it already in the previous weeks. Eager for me though, going to be sat about 3rd. LG going to slip to 4th because of that. Then on to Denial. They beat Envy. So Denial in a pretty good spot right now. I think Denial is still, I'm going to leave them where they are just based off all the other ones above them that I can't really move them above them. And Envy slipping already from 3rd all the way down to around the 5th place position. And I don't want to push them any further than that just yet. I think Denial is still around Envy's level though. Those two are very, very close. And I think pretty much this section here could go anyway. I'm just going to bold this way. This section here could go anyway. I'm pretty sure Randozzo's will still stay at the bottom, but they will start winning games now. Based on the performances already, that little boon of beating LG will really spur them on. However, it'll spur them on, but it'll make the other teams realise they're not as bad as people think they are, and they're not going to be a complete free win. Onto Allegiance then. Allegiance did split with LG and did lose to Saw. So obviously LG coming down, but the other teams above them I still think are around there. Maybe they could switch up with Denial and Envy, quite possibly Allegiance so far. They've still got plenty of things to work on with the role switches and new members being added, such as Mr. Mackey. I think Allegiance will definitely make a push towards the end of the season. I don't know how long that push will go though, and how much of an impact it'll have on the standings. And finally, we get on to Randozzo's. Great week for them, let's be honest. They pick up their first win against probably one of the best touted teams on paper of skill level. So Randozzo's are there. That's my predictions where they're going to be. Now the funny thing is, when I did these, I shouldn't have done this off air because I just wanted to prep a little bit. But if I didn't, you would have seen that it's actually identical pretty much to this side. It's not very different to the current standings. Envy and Denial are like switched up. That's the only thing that's different over there. And when we get to EU in a second, you'll see that's the actual standings and how close we actually are to them as well. Back to Europe. Panthera's going to stay where they are. They beat Fnatic and beat Dig. It's pretty much going to be the story of the season for Panthera. I don't see them slipping down any further than they currently are. Will they drop games? Yeah, they already did. Will they drop more? Probably, maybe 1 or 2 more. I'll take 2 more games they'll drop this season. I don't think they'll be as crisp and clean as they were, but I'm not too worried about that. I also had a substitute this week as well, remember that, and they still came out on top of that. Paradigm beat Hungry for More. Not clean, but they beat Hungry for More. They'll stay where they are for now. Same for Cringe Crew. Even though they beat Leftovers, there's no reason to put them above Paradigm or Panthera at this point. Cringe Crew looking okay. Fnatic. Obviously, Fnatic at the start of the season for me were very, very highly touted in my top 3. They're slipping, and I was giving them credit of like, okay, mid-table, waiting for them to finally hit a stride. And it was actually this week that they kind of hit something. Even though they lost to Panthera, they did beat Torpedo. But they're still slipping down. Fnatic is still not looking as clean as they should be. Are they finding wins? Yeah, slowly, but they should be beating some of these teams. Like Torpedo should have basically beaten them by the way the stats are saying to me. But Fnatic are definitely moving down. Dignitas, obviously they split with Torpedo Gaming, which is better than what, even though Fnatic beat them, that technically means Fnatic should be better than Dig based on the Torpedo performances and lost to Panthera. So if you look at those two, technically Fnatic should be above Dig, right? Not the case though, because Dig's just having better games overall. Leftovers moving down as well after that loss to Cringe Crew. Leftovers are just off the boil right now. They're not finding it. They had a great start to the season, but it's starting to slip slowly down. The other teams are picking up pace, which is an issue for the boys of Leftovers. Then on to Torpedo. Torpedo 7th split with Dig, lost to Fnatic, lost to Paradigm. These guys are not too bad, but they're not too great. They're still struggling. I still see them as bottom 4. I'm going to say the bottom 4. I'm not sure what order in bottom 4 they're going to be. Let's just see how that works out. But based off the performance against Dig, they should move up. Based on the loss to Fnatic, well, I guess they should probably stay the same, I want to say. Maybe I've done this one wrong. Maybe it shouldn't be Torpedo here. I think I should leave Leftovers there. Let's just do that. I'm going to switch this on the fly. We're going to stay, which means these two stay the other way around, because I can't see a reason to move Torpedo up based off that performance this week. Maybe last week's performance I was factoring in, but let's just go off what I see now. I don't think Torpedo should move up. They should probably stay where they are, which means Leftovers will stay too, because I don't think anybody else will move there. And then finally, Hungry for More. They should move up. I've put up, move up, but how can they move up when they're still bottom of the league and they're still losing to it? They do look better though. Hungry for More do look better. Don't know why I put up there, but they do look better, and that's where they're going to be for the now. So that's my little look at this week as a whole and the previous week as well, in terms of where I think people will be. This is the sort of standings I have at the moment. Start of the season I did make predictions. It's still on my Twitter if you want to go and check those out of where I originally put people. Some of them I think will still come to fruition with what I suggested, but things do change up. And then there's the actual standings. So there's only one or two little changes here. Envy and Denial switching up there, and then Torpedo and Leftovers switching it up there as well. I think I was looking, I may have just like factored that in as well, I guess, when I did that little drop of Leftovers. So there's them. Let's go to predictions then, because we've done the shenanigans of all that craziness as well. So, on to picks of the week. Let's begin at Saw versus Randozzo's. Randozzo did pick up a win against LG. Are they good enough to beat Saw? I don't think so. Let's go with Saw for this one. Don't see any changes there happening, honestly. Eager versus Denali is very, very much a big battle for both these two teams, I want to say, especially based on the predictions. I think Eager could really climb. At the moment, I've got them in the power rankings as in the top 3, so I'm going to favour them over Denial here. I'm going to go Eager 2-0 here. If they go in with the wrong picks and bans, though, and Denial are very, very good at that sort of thing, I want to say they're very good at the strategy of picks and bans, it could hurt them, but I think Eager should take that. LG versus Allegiance. Well, where do you go with this one? Because Allegiance just split with Luminosity, right? Took a game off them. Do we go that direction? I mean, should we? What should we do? This is a rough one. I'm thinking hard here, boys. I'm sorry. I'm going to go think about this one. I'm going to go LG. Now, the reason I'm going to go LG here is I believe on paper this team is still better than Allegiance, even though Allegiance did just split with them. But I also think after the break, we'll see a revitalized LG when they realize they dropped the game to Allegiance that in their eyes they shouldn't have. They'll probably come back and bounce back into aggressiveness. Allegiance will come in with a lot of confidence, though. So you could go split here again if you wanted to. You could even favor Allegiance if you wanted to. I'm going to favor LG. I think that's just the way it's going to be there. Back over to Europe, Fnatic versus Leftovers. This will be a tale of interestingness for me. I'm going to go split here right now. I think Fnatic are playing better. Leftovers need to step it up, but I think a split is on the cards here for that one for the time being. Cringe Crew versus Torpedo. We're going to go Cringe Crew again. Cringe Crew is still playing pretty well. I still think they're going to be top 4, probably top 4, alongside Dignitas, Cringe Crew, Paradigm, Panthera. So I'm pretty going to go there. Panthera versus Dig. Or Panthera versus Dig. We're going to go for the Panthera 2-0 there. Dig could be the upset game, though. It could be the game where Panthera drop another game. It's possible. Wouldn't surprise me. Paradigm versus Hungry for More. I'm going Paradigm here. Hungry for More are looking better. Paradigm could make a mistake against them, but I think Paradigm are going to start turning up the gas a little bit more right now. They need to, because they're going to start getting caught by the other teams, which is a bit risky for them as well. Onwards to Dig versus Hungry for More. Still going Dig, man. I'm still going Dig. I just can't get on the Hungry for More train still. I want to be on the Hungry for More train. I want them to climb. I had them at the start of the season as being a top 4 team, but they've got more to do. I think Dig will take that one. They could be a split, though, but that's a risk. That's more of a risk than going Dig 2-0. Enemy versus Envy. Envy's definitely on a slump. Enemy's doing fine. I'm going to go Enemy 2-0 here as well. I don't see that being much different than that. Could Envy take a game? Yeah, based on paper, the performances. Will the meta change in with the new patch coming out? Everyone will have plenty of time on the new patch, don't forget, to factor in, so we'll see how that one works out. Enemy versus Saw. This one could be the tale of who gets first place this season. That's what I'll put this one down as. Who goes first this season is a possibility. Take into account, just looking at this already, you can see the standings that they're at, and that also means that Saw's got a game in hand, and I believe it's played this week. I'm guessing it is, or is it not? Because Enemy's got a game there, so it's not that. And start of the week it was Saw versus Rendozo. So, by this point, by this game, these two should be equal on record if everything goes as planned. Or will they be? Yeah, they will be. No, they won't be because the Enemy's playing here. Nah. There's still an extra game for Enemy this week as well, so Enemy will be 2 games ahead. You see, all these games over in North America have always gone against Enemy, and maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I shouldn't. I look at the teams on paper and I still think to myself, you know, I think Saw will win this one. But every time I do it, I'm wrong. I'm going split. That was a hard choice. I'm going to go split. I felt Saw could have taken that, but I should stop discounting Enemy as hard as I have been doing. Envy versus Randozos. This should be Envy. Should be Envy. Could Randozos split? Well, we saw Randozos split against LG, so it wouldn't be a big shock if they did beat them there. And, oops, a daisy. And then finally, last game of the week is Paradigm versus Torpedo Gaming. Paper tells the tale of the tape here. Both of them have very similar playstyles in one way, but I think Paradigm will come out on top with experience more than anything else. Yes, Torpedo got a lot of experience, but Paradigm's got a lot of experience as a whole unit team. Torpedo still need to work on that. So there's my predictions for the week. Take into account, this is predictions a little bit quicker than they need to be. You've got week 6 is going to be a bye week next week, where we've got the charity event going on. Actually, it'll be this week. There's a bye week. These games won't be played until, as you can see, the 5th of May is when they start, and then we can start seeing through all these games and seeing, well, you can see the rosters coming out as they get locked in, and if the rosters change, this could influence picks as well. I will come back and probably do a little small video update in case I've changed any of my predictions based off teams changing up rosters. We may see teams fold, we may see teams completely switch up. It's quite a possibility just based on performance. And will that impact these picks and these choices? Sure it will. It's no longer free FP week. I don't think it's been free FP week since week 2. And even then I've got them all wrong. But maybe it was free FP week for you for one of the weeks, let me know. But in the meantime, I hope you found some of that information useful to yourself. Good luck with your picks for this week. We will be doing more of these going forward. And I'll be back with more action. Don't forget, there is a new patch for this, and the guys will get a chance to play on it. Jingwei will probably be available by that point, I want to say. I'm not 100% certain. Maybe she won't be. She might be available in rank, but not competitive. Scardy's already on the table. Throwing Dagger got a nerf as well. Nox got a buff, so keep an eye out for some of the Nox players that could actually be picking up her as well. Other ones that got picked up as well. I'm just trying to think what other things that made an impact. There was Nox, Jingwei, and Outwash. I don't think we've seen much Outwash though, guys, so don't look out for Outwash players. And if you were, Adoro's one of those Outwash players on the Randozos that you could end up seeing picking up. But it'd been mainly Nox. See if you get any Nox players there. Anyway, in the meantime, enjoy yourselves. Good luck in your free FP week, because hopefully mine will be too, starting week 6. Aight, chat!